Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Robert Schwartz. I'm a disabled veteran from the Cold War era. And the state of Alaska, I was going to get a business. I put the business plan together back in '91. The state of Alaska stopped me. And the overall reason is I was going to reduce the waste stream by 80%. And second most important reason was I was going to get us veterans out of their system, their institutionalized system. Well, the state of Alaska wasn't going to go for it. That's because the state of Alaska traded land with the Kootenai Native Corporation to own the property adjacent to the landfill. Cook Inlet Regional Corporation owns the mineral rights to the land adjacent to the landfill. So by stopping me, the state protected Cook Inlet, the largest native corporation in Alaska, that says it was environmentally conscious. Even though I have a letter from them saying, no, we don't want to invest in your business plan. And the reason why? Because they want to create the biggest environmental impact on the environment in the city of Anchorage to expand the Highland landfill. Now, the Highland landfill's got some major issues because this is the last state in the United States, and this state believes they have all the experts here. Really, they do. That's why the landfill is not built correctly. And what do I mean by that? When you have no air in a landfill, it's called a time capsule. They're selling gas to the Department of Defense. But the only problem is they're hauling the leachate down to the leachate on Turpin Street along the highway. That leachate should be pumped back into the landfill so there will be moisture to create methane gas so they can sell to Department of Defense. But since they constructed the landfill wrongfully, they're not creating methane. Once they cap it with that plastic seal so to trap the gas, it's no longer getting rained on. But the experts in this state, they believe that piss is going through that cloth even though it's trapping the gas. It don't work that way. That's why they have a bunch of idiots in charge. Now, the best part about all this is the FBI and the VA is also involved in this mess, and I'll tell you why. The VA, they treated me like all the other veterans in Alaska that's in the street, have no family, and have no place to keep their records. You know, criminals never expect to get caught. You know why? Because they don't. And this is how they got caught. I'm that one veteran that has his records and can prove the VA was responsible for back surgery, collarbone surgery, and life support. Even though the VA in Alaska says they don't refuse life-threatening emergencies. They're a bunch of liars. Just like the FBI. Remember when they told America that Iraq has the weapons of mass destruction, and then later on we found out that was just another lie? They're great at fabricating evidence. But they're not great at not getting caught doing it. That's why the FBI also has a nickname called the fucking Bureau of Idiots. They just didn't expect to get caught as well. But then again, all criminals don't expect to get caught. Just like the state, the VA, and the FBI. They all got caught portraying me to be a felon. Well, that's because the FBI didn't investigate Donald Smith's statement, not knowing that Donald Smith already had a prior conviction of assaulting someone with a loaded gun. If they would have investigated it, they would have found that out and would not have protected him. But the state loved the FBI for not doing their job because the lies he told in court supported the state's false diagnosis. Now, false diagnosis is the state's diversion for getting away with stealing my business plan and putting it in catch can without a feasibility study. Yeah, they stole it, put it in catch can without a feasibility study. They didn't have to do a feasibility study. They knew I had funding, so they didn't have to do a feasibility study. They knew it was a fundable project. So it took 15 years to get to that point. So they took 15 years of my life right away like that. Then after they gave me a mental disability, I got to be abused in a court of law. I no longer had the right to due process of law. That's why Donald Smith got away with telling lies in court. And his attorney portrayed him to be a doctor, a medical professional, which is also a federal crime. Well, let's get past the Donald Smith area. The VA, later on in life, after I was falsely convicted of that charge of Donald Smith, the VA kept telling me, you need to believe you're the person you was convicted of. Why would I need to believe that if I was that person? Right? I hope that didn't go over your head because, let me say it again, if I was that person, why would I need to believe that I was that person that Donald Smith actually is? That's because they had me on addictive medication thinking they could brainwash me, which is also against federal rule of the Geneva Convention. Even though I'm not considered a prisoner, if I left the state of Alaska, I'd end up on the West Coast with the other vets in a cardboard box. Wouldn't make it to my mom and dad. Wouldn't be able to celebrate holidays or Christmas. So I'm pretty much stuck in this state as an in-state prisoner. I'm here to be locked up every 2 years by the VA. Yeah, that's right. The troopers found out in 2014. They asked me, how many times has the VA locked me up? Pulled out the records. 2008, 2010, 2012. They tried in 2014. Except for law enforcement that showed up to the VA, did not believe any 3 of the lies the VA told them. They believed me, and they believed my business plan. The reason they believed my business plan, because Justin General, or Assistant, well anyway, Bert Carlo, which is now mayor now, he supported the business plan before he became mayor. That means he's just as delusional as I am? No, I'm not delusional. Delusional is the scapegoat the state gave me so they can get away with stealing my business plan. And after I got delusional, everybody else was allowed to kill me and get away with it. Yeah. 2014, my business plan was also stolen again. It was funded without me. And my life was also threatened 5 times. And they put red crosshairs on my Facebook page and sent it back to me. Even though they don't believe that was threatening. It was threatening. So, long story short, the state and the VA and the FBI helped the state and Cook Inlet Regional Corporation get away with protecting their investment by expanding a landfill, even though the Cook Inlet Regional Corporation states to the federal government they're environmentally conscious. No, they're not. They're making the biggest impact on the environment by creating the largest landfill in the city of Anchorage. And the state of Alaska condoned that by making sure I was wrongly convicted in a court of law, allowing Judge Smith to lie, letting Judge Heath protect Judge Smith, and letting the other 2 judges on the Judicial Council let them both off the hook. Got 4 crooked judges. And it's perfectly okay because the state benefits from it, the VA benefits from it, and the FBI doesn't get caught for not investigating the mess in the start by not investigating Donald Smith. But everybody worked in hand. It helps everybody but me. And worst of all, and what's bad about all this is we don't reduce the waste stream. The business community downtown Anchorage wanted to see those people quit wandering the streets, and I could have gave them a hope of a future. We could have gave them a job, get on their feet and out of the street. But the city of Anchorage is using them people in the street as puppets for their own political games. Yeah, they're abusing the people in public. And business owners don't want them wandering streets, but they don't want them to go to work either because it would jeopardize their investment on expanding a landfill. So by abusing them, they also get to abuse me. It's a very crooked society in this state. Business, free enterprise, there's no free enterprise. As long as the state gets what they want, they can destroy anybody they want because they have the power to do so. The court system is corrupted. That's why our prisons are overfilled. It's just wrong. All because I had a business plan that would have got us veterans out of the system, on our feet, reduced the waste stream by 80%. Originally, the business plan in 91, I would have had 7% of the waste stream sold as a product here in Alaska. 25% would have been used on docks for our docks and harbors as plastic wood, industrialized plastic wood. 45% would have been used as alternative fuel to power a military power plant. Well, when that didn't happen, I got the fuel installed at the power plant, at Allison. Can't tell you any more than that. Secret Service told me not to. And I'm not going to. So since that didn't happen, I got this fuel installed in 95 in Allison, even though I'm supposed to be mentally disabled. That was the scapegoat the state gave me, remember, so they can get away with stealing my business plan, which allowed the courts to abuse me and take my right to due process of law away so they could rubber me to false convictions, which misled the public to believe that I'm a felon. And then in 2005, the Secret Service stated that I came down there because someone said I would threaten to kill the President, Obama. They interrogated me for 2 hours and realized that person told a lie. A state official with excellent credentials. Well, geez, Judge Smith must have been that excellent credentials person. Don't have proof of that, but after he found out I wasn't locked up, guess what? He told a lie to have me arrested. I basically said, I pray to God what you did to me happened to your daughter, and she's so far away, you can't help her, and she gets to live the same life you let me live. He told the troopers I threatened to kill him. I threatened his life and well-being. No, I didn't actually. Technically, I threatened his daughter. I don't know if he has a daughter, but since Judge Smith acts like a girl, I figured he normally would have a daughter. But I mean, that's probably that is an assumption. I'm sure law enforcement's made assumptions before, and so I figure I'd just make an assumption. Well, he didn't like that. So he told the troopers, even though he had evidence, he didn't use it because it wouldn't convict me of anything. So he had the troopers illegally arrest me, get a confession out of me, and the confession they got, couldn't use either. Wouldn't convict me of anything. So what did he do? He just bold-faced told a lie. So Judge Smith told a lie and got convicted of hearsay. They used Donald Smith's lies that he told in court in '91 support Judge Smith's lies. Judge Smith tried Donald Smith. They're not related. You think they would be the way they're acting, though, huh? But they're not related. So Judge Smith protected Donald Smith from the lies he told in court because I filed a 62B motion in 2003, showing that they told lies in court. The U.S. Marshal's Office told me in 2012 that Judge Smith should have been arrested for allowing them people to lie in court. But that couldn't happen, because if that would have happened, Judge Smith couldn't told a lie to the FBI to have him arrest me for threatening his life and well-being. So after the troopers arrested me and got a confession, Judge Smith didn't use that confession because it wouldn't convict me of nothing. So he just both-faced told a lie. Used that first case that he produced to support his lie. Judge Heath protected Judge Smith, and the other two judges on the district council, which Judge Smith is one of the three, let them both off the hook. Nothing like organized crime. And you wonder why the biggest state in the United States, the last state that's developed as a state, has got more prisons fuller than any state in the lower 48 per capita. And the veterans are being used to be incarcerated into the system. The VA locks veterans up every 2 years. It's premeditated. And it's pretty cruel. Because when you're locked up for 2 years, you get robbed. So when you come back, you get to replace everything you once had. So you get to start your life over every 2 years. Don't get ahead that way. But they support crime because the criminals rob you and they don't care. Nothing like organized crime in all different kinds of aspects. You wonder why our society has problems and our government has budget problems. Well, the state of Alaska is a prime example. The biggest state in the union and all the crime they're doing just so they could make a profit off the taxpayers on the tonnage of the waste stream. Now, Steve Morgan owns Waste Management. Tom Culhane, who always worked in the maintenance shop of Anchorage Refuse, the co-founder of the grandfathered business called Anchorage Refuse. And so Tom Culhane worked in the maintenance shop. His brother died in an airplane crash. Tom didn't know how to run the company. So State and Tom worked with Steve Morgan with Waste Management, made a backroom deal called Alaska Waste. They're controlling the waste stream. They won't let me touch it. They're making sure that I never touch it. That way they can make a profit off the Anchorage taxpayers at the landfill. Cook Inlet Regional Corporation makes money on the mineral rights and a percentage of the tonnage rate. The state of Alaska gets a percentage of the tonnage rate and shares it with the city of Anchorage. The leachate, it's a joke for the landfill. The DEC is getting paid for work they don't have no clue how to do it right. They've been hauling leachate down the landfill ever since that landfill opened. It's just the old ways in Alaska doing things. They're not the experts. And I can prove what I'm saying to be true because the people in the lower 48 have been doing this long before Alaska ever became a state. So pretty much the state stole my business plan. The VA helped participate. And when they couldn't get anybody to kill me, the VA went a little further. After they tried to lock me up in 2014, it didn't happen because law enforcement didn't believe me. I'm not sure the troopers or still PD. But still, law enforcement didn't believe them and let me go home. Because they seen the business plan with Mayor Burt Cottle. At the time, he wasn't mayor, but Mayor Burt Cottle was in support of it. Why would a mayor support a delusional business plan? Because it's not delusional. Remember, that was the scapegoat the state gave me as a diversion to mislead the public to believe that they're smart and I'm the idiot. And after that, they got to abuse me more and mislead the public even further. So the VA went a little bit off the limb. They figured they do me like they've done other vets. They'll just call. Sammy Hubbard's a PR rep for the VA. He's been a very busy man. He's called all the businesses from Palmer, Wasilla, Meadow Lakes, Houston, and Big Lake business communities, told them I was a child molester and I'm a thief. So when I go to prison, because they kept trying, then the businesses are supposed to have me 86 and arrested and 86 off the property. So when I get locked up in prison, someone in prison that has children, I'll become dead. And the state has no clue how people die in prison. It's premeditated by the hands of the VA. The VA will make sure they get rid of the veterans. All they got to do is slander their name. So when they go to prison, someone will kill me. They've tried. They let Donald Smith try to kill me by strangulation. I still live with the nightmares once in a while. It doesn't make for a good week. But I get through it now. At first, I didn't want to live through it no more. I actually tried to kill myself a couple times. But after I quit trying to kill myself, the state started allowing other people to try to kill me and then letting them off the hook for doing so, because they didn't succeed. So the VA went so far as to call businesses. Now, Sammy Hubbard, when I got locked up in Anchorage, the APD, Anchorage Police Department, Sammy Hubbard would make those calls. Out in the valley, Debbie Sills, the manager of the VA rep out here in the valley that's in charge of that office, she would call law enforcement. And they both would protect themselves on the Freedom of Information Act. So if you go to the courthouse and get a subpoena to look at a case file, you never still not know who it is. But once you see the Freedom of Information Act, only one agency protects themselves on the Freedom of Information Act. FBI does under federal law, but not FOIA. State does under state statute, not FOIA. It's the VA that's protect themselves under the FOIA, Freedom of Information Act. So they've tried everything they possibly can, all because I was going to reduce the wasting by 80%, and I was going to take the people out of the streets and give them a future and something to look forward to get out of the streets and on their feet. And the state, the VA, and the FBI was definitely totally against it. So I was a threat to this state because I was going to create an economic development package for the state. The state, the Cook Inlet Region Corporation, the FBI, and the VA was totally against it. That's why the VA kept telling me year after year after year, you need to get used to the system. It's not going to change. No, it's not. I want to put a screeching halt to it. We should not serve our country to be abused by a state. Even though it's the biggest state in the union, they have a well-sustained package, and it works well for them. We didn't serve our country for this. All because the biggest native corporation in America that tells the federal government they're environmentally conscious. They don't want oil drilling in their full. They're lying up their ass. They're out to rip off taxpayers to make a fat dime. So is the state. They're behind it. I told Bill Walker I wasn't posting this video, and I'm not going to until the 16th. I gave him till the 15th to clean this mess up. So after the 16th, I have to give him 90 to 120 days before I can do any legalities, according to a law firm I've been working with in New York. And I'm not doing it with the internet, because if I did, they would have known who I'm working with and what information I'm getting it. I'm doing the old-fashioned way, the postal system. It's really hard to hack the postal system. Imagine that. Staying ahead of the game by listening to people outside the state that's been far ahead of the game than the state's been playing it. So, pretty much, that's it in a nutshell. And that's why the state of Alaska has portrayed me to be a real scumbag in the hopes that I would die in their prison system. Even though they say they don't understand how people die in prison. By the hands of the VA. Yeah. Law enforcement's just been used as their pawns to do their dirty work. They found that out in 2014 when they found out all the lies the VA told them. They didn't understand how until this video gets exposed, and then they will. I don't think I'll be doing any, I don't think I'm going to redo this video. I think I'm going to go with what I got. And if there's anything you don't understand, please give me a call. My email address is robertpschwartz87@yahoo.com. That's ROBERT, P as in Paul, SCHWARTZ87@Yahoo. Or better yet, Romeo Oscar Bravo Echo Romeo Tango Papa Sierra Charlie Hotel Whiskey Alpha Romeo Tango Zulu 87@yahoo.com. Send me an email, and I'll explain anything you want to see. If you want to see evidence, I'll give you that too. But it's on record that Cook Inlet Regional Corporation owns the mineral rights adjacent to the landfill, and the state of Alaska did a land swap with the Kootenai Native Corporation to own the land next to the landfill. And it's very obvious to see that the Kootenai Native Corporation did the land swap. That's on record. Everything else is on record. I'm not producing any evidence to this video because I've done all that in all the other videos. The YouTube account this is on. All the other videos is on the same account as Hey Vern, it's Robert. The reason it did that, I studied Ernest Werbley. The reason I studied Ernest Werbley is because he took a bad thing and made good light out of it. And I had to do that. I had to study it because it was really hard to explain how my state and my country can abuse and torture and humiliate one person, all because he's trying to stop a crooked system to get his veterans out of their institutionalized system, out of the streets and on our feet. Is how we can get on, and by doing that, I'm a problem. So they was trying to get their very best to get rid of me. They didn't care who's tried to kill me. They let them off the hook. They didn't care how they tried to kill me. They let them off the hook. Apparently it's God's will that I'm not supposed to die. Apparently it's God's will that I'm here to help stop the abuse of God's children and stop the endangering of infecting our soils with more pollution and expose the liars and deceitful people in our nation, or at least our state, the biggest state in the United States. And they thought they could get away with it. But most importantly, all criminals don't expect to get caught. The state of Alaska surely didn't expect to get caught. The VA, they didn't expect to get caught. But then again, the VA refused back surgery, collarbone surgery, and life support, even though they say they don't refuse life-threatening emergencies. See, this state does what? Just like the federal government. They're good at blowing smoke up everybody's ass. Just like the feds. Just like the FBI. They remember that back in the day, they said Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. And later on, we found out that was just another lie. And they produced fraudulent evidence and support those lies, which means they're good at fabricating evidence. It's like the VA and the state is. So, all in all, I probably might lose my disability income. But guess what? I'm going to get us veterans out of the street. I'm going to stop their crooked system, turn our economy around, create jobs at minimum wage, 15 bucks an hour, even though most businesses really can't afford that because they don't have the incomes we're making. And best part about it is, everybody that's paying them high tonnage rates and refuse collection rates, we get to cut the prices in half and then cut them down another quarter. They're getting stuck dry up here because waste managers are making a fat dime up here. They could do the same thing, but Steve Morgan knows he considers me a competitor, even though the state says my pastime the waste stream is delusional, which is a diversion to mislead the public to the truities that they want them to believe. Now, if I was this person, explain why I never had a criminal history until I was convicted in court of falsehoods. Not once, but twice by the same judge. Imagine that. Our system's corrupted, our prisons are overfilled because they're using veterans to feed the system. Because they believe the veterans don't have a place to keep your records. Well, I'm that one veteran that has my records, and I can prove that I was born in Joplin, Missouri. I was raised in Galena, Kansas. My parents took over my grandparents' business. I'm a third-generation American. I'm part Cherokee, part Dutch, part Irish, and part German. That makes me out to be an ornery Indian, man, and a Cherokee at that. Bad person to be playing with. I love a good fight. That's why I served my country, got the backbone. That's probably why I've gotten this far, to expose the entire state and their crooked activities, including a native corporation. The biggest one in the state of Alaska is supposed to be environmentally conscious, aligned to the federal government, all the while knowing they're making a fat dime off the taxpayers by expanding the landfill that impacts the environment. Doesn't help it, but that's good. As politicians, it's all political. There's nothing about any honesty here, and I don't have any lies to tell. I'm trying to stop the lies and deceit the state started. And they've done everything they could to get me killed so they can get away with what they've been doing. So hopefully after the governor hears this, and I'll get a hold of Captain Doug Cook, he's with the Palmer Post, make sure he knows about this. And VA, I'm not going to call them. I'm going to have to, I can't dare call the VA. Big mistake. If they call me, I don't answer the phone. Another big mistake. And if they ask you to come in, I don't go there because I'll never get back out. And I'll get robbed. And I've had enough replacing my stuff every 2 years. I've had enough of that. I got a lot of nice things since I got out of debt. 5 years now. Well, 4.5 years I'm out of debt. Debt-free. I got a lot of nice things. I've got a lot of loans. Still paying on a few. Don't want to lose anything I've been paying on. Especially the scumbag thieves. So, pretty much, I told Bill Walker I wouldn't post this. Right now it's 10 minutes to 12. So, here shortly I'm going to post this video. This is going to be my only video. I'm not going to do 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 and pick up the best one. Just do it like it is. If I forgot anything, call me up. Put me in check, and I'll give you the evidence and back up what I'm saying to be true. I'm not a politician. I don't beat around the bush. I haven't got a reason to. I haven't got any time to waste my own money like the politicians do the taxpayers. So, in short, my name is Robert Schwartz. I served the military for 6 years, and my departure from the military was a scam. My chain of command tried to make a prime example out of me. I was room commander and squad commander. Guys in my room were not in my squad. I turned in my weapon, turned in my ammo, and put my secret material in the company safe. My chain of command had the right to detain, not to obtain, therefore they was in possession of narcotics, to include the contaminated top secret material. I won my case. Jack said if I won, I'd have me on board. My chain of command knew if that happened, I'd have their ass in the brick. So they booed me out of the service into Anchorage, And the state would probably misled to believe, oh, he's an idiot, go ahead and abuse him. Well, now I got the state, the VA, and the FBI, and the court system in corruption. Wow. Nothing like getting the federal government, the military, the state, the FBI, the VA, and the court system involved in criminal activity. Who'd ever thunk that me, little old me, could catch so many different agencies of our government involved in organized crime? And you wonder why our economy is in a shithole. Well, that's because we have idiots in charge. And the FBI doesn't investigate. That's why they have a nickname called the fucking Bureau of Idiots. And they stood well up to it now. I mean, there's nothing. I know they probably produced statements that support the lies that the Judge Smith said. But if they got the evidence, why did they submit that evidence in court? If they had it then. They didn't have it then. They had it come in. They probably cut and slice until they produced one, long after the court case. That's one thing about the FBI. They always seem to produce the evidence. Not in a timely manner. They can produce it. Everybody can do that. So, in short, I'm going to start a business. Mayor Bert Carl is going to get the recognition court because that revenue is going to hit the Matsu Borough. We are going to turn the economy around. This is the reason they... maybe I didn't say this, but I'll make sure you know. When they locked me up and falsely convicted me of hearsay, they paraded me around in a jumpsuit, yellow jumpsuit, misled the public to believe I was a felon. That conviction actually was my first conviction ever. Criminal conviction. It was a misdemeanor. So they misled the public to believe I was a felon, which was a good thing in some ways, and I'll tell you why. Some of the businesses in the valley that are felons and have been convicted of felonies, they told me it was Sammy Hubbard that called them. One of the businesses confronted me inside Taco Bell's restaurant. I'm glad he had his kids with him, so I put him in his place. He showed his kids how to become his clientele. What I mean by his clientele, he owns A1 Pawn Shop, the son of the owner. He doesn't know him, his dad owns it. It works at A1 Pawn Shop. He's eating Taco Bell. He had his kids with him. I put him in his place, showing that he was showing his kids how to disrespect their elders in public, and they was going to become like their clientele at the pawn shop, but become another part of the problem of our society. I put him in his place. He wasn't standing up in his chair. He was hunkered down in it because he knew he got a good ass to it. He deserved it. He put his foot right in his mouth where it should be, too. So I put it there. So long story short, I think I've said enough. I think I exposed enough. And the state and Cook Inlet's involved of a conspiracy to commit fraud against the federal government for being environmentally conscious, which are not. The VA and the FBI helped produce fraudulent evidence to get me a conviction because they didn't investigate nothing. And then the VA went so far to mislead the public, tell lies, so when I did get locked up, I'd die in prison. Yep, I think I got it all. So, got any questions, give me an email. The account on YouTube. Hey, Vern, it's Robert. The web page that people in California came up to do is all the facts why recycling doesn't work in Alaska. Yep, I think I got it all. If I missed anything, I'm going to have to do another video, but I don't think I did. Everything else is on the YouTube account. All the videos on YouTube have evidence backing up what I'm saying to be true. And all the evidence I haven't produced will be produced during discovery in a federal court. According to the New York law firm, I can sue. In fact, everybody in the United States should listen to this. It's very important. If a law enforcement officer in Lower 48 does something illegal and he's wrong, he gets fired, you can sue that SOB. You can sue him under Section 1983. I'll tell you why. You can't sue the government. It doesn't have any money anyway. Can't sue the borough, county, city, or state. But you can sue those who misrepresent cities, state, borough, counties, and cities under Section 1983. So let's say Mayor so-and-so has got a house, couple of them, or a yacht. You can take it off. Because he'll be doing federal time. He's aiding and abetting federal crime. Yep. Got plenty enough evidence. They've done more than just one crime. They falsified medical records, fabricated court records, improper incarceration, false arrest, miscarriage of justice, just to name a few. Now it's not adding mental assault, mental language, slander, defamation, character, aggravated assault. And that's just the start. I got a lot more all the way up to here. I can go to my shoulder, down to my knee. I got all kinds of charges. Not only one judge, not just one governor or one mayor. I can go all the way from every organization or gubernatorial from this year all the way back to 99. It's a lot of governors, a lot of commissioners, a lot of directors, a lot of attorney generals, a lot of mayors, and on down, and the VA, and the director, and the public affairs, and on down. It's a lot of, like my investor says, if they slander you so bad you can't get an investor, which I can. The problem is I can't get through securities exchange because of the judgments they got against me. They said, so if you can't get funding, sue them, give them the reputation they so well deserve, take their money and their assets and go on business anyway and have a nice day. So that's my alternative. So veterans, I do have your back. If you're wondering why you're on the West Coast in the cardboard box, the state and their organized crime, I've just exposed it. So hopefully I can get you veterans to see your families before they die. And I pray to God I can see my family before they die. And we can travel freely and be treated as human beings instead of cattle being herded to the mental ill system or being incarcerated every 2 years for an evaluation. Like a cattle being herded to a slaughterhouse where we're locked up for a week, we get robbed. They don't care. That's why the VA says, get used to the system. It's not going to change. I'll guarantee one thing, after this video has been out and everybody sees it, it's going to change, all right. I'm just going to outright stop it. We didn't serve our country to be abused by the state and their organized system, organized crime. So, folks, I don't know how long this video is, but it's been, without glasses, it's been a 31-minute video. I think it's been long enough. Y'all have a nice day. Please give me a call or email at robertpschwartz87@yahoo.com. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.